School violence is a subset of youth violence, a broader public health problem. Violence is the intentional use of physical force or power against another person, group, or community with the behavior likely to cause physical or psychological harm. Youth violence typically includes persons between the ages of 10 and 24.
Well, if you're not in a safe environment, then you're not really going to feel comfortable learning. So if you're sitting in class and you're feeling scared about what's going to happen in the hallways after class, it's really hard for you to focus or to concentrate on what's going on in school. You might be anxious, or it's sort of hard to think about anything else if your personal safety is in danger.
School violence affects students because this should be a place where everybody feels safe, where everybody feels like they can learn without any threat of anyone else harming them physically or even mentally.
Students who are threatened by violence are likely to be distracted in class, frustrated, and even fear to go to school every day. Although school violence has been reduced, it's still a severe issue of today's society.
I believe that watching a video game is going to create violence for somebody because everybody's different. But certainly, whatever you're doing with your spare time is going to affect the kind of person you are, sure.
Video games?
Video games. Domestic violence.
I think they get it from watching TV, watching movies, playing video games, because it makes them think that they should act like that.
I think that students get the idea of fighting at school because of video games, because video games has a lot of violence in it, and that could make them act like that.
Things I think give kids the reason to be violent. I mean, some of it's socioeconomical, so kids that are from backgrounds that aren't maybe where they don't get everything that maybe other students would. I think also family troubles as well, and now we made a big push about mental health, and we're finding out that that has a lot to do with a lot of the school shootings that have happened in the United States over the last 18 months. A lot of them have to do with mental health. So before, I think we thought it was just all of the kids that were a little not as well off, and that's why they had problems and they were doing things like that. But now we're finding out that it's a wider spectrum of people that are becoming violent in schools.
Well, I think there's many places in our society that make violence seem to be okay and also cool. So I know video games, just because I have a younger brother and he plays, some of those games, and I can't believe how violent they are. And he's an adult, so I think he can sort of realize there's a difference between, the video game world and the real world. But I worry about students that are younger, because I think if they're seeing it every day, they get desensitized to it, so it no longer impacts them the way that me who doesn't play a video game, when I see it one time, I'm shocked. So I think that's one place where students learn violence. They might learn it in their community, they might learn it at home, in movies. There's a lot of violence, unfortunately, in our society. I don't know any really specific programs. I know there's at my old school, there was a program where the police, the Toronto Police, were working with some of the priority neighborhoods. So neighborhoods where there was a higher rate of crime and violence. And the police would come in and work with the students on, programs to prevent against violence. So they would do after school programs, they would come in and talk to the classes, and they would try to make it, the police and the students have a more positive relationship so they could trust each other. But that's really the only program that I know of that deals with violence in schools.
Okay.
We actually explicitly teach our kids social and emotional learning skills that help them to find proactive ways to solve problems and challenges when they occur, instead of resulting to more reactive kinds of responses that create violence and other kinds of.
I think just having an overall good attitude towards each other and understanding that we're here all to learn and we're all here to tolerate each other, not tolerate each other, edit that out, to learn from each other. Also, we understand now mental health is a big issue, and it's also a component of school, and that we can all suffer from mental health issues. So making sure that we do things to ensure that our mental health is okay. And if we see signs in somebody else, maybe bring it to their attention or bring it to a parent or a guardian or whoever's attention, just so that we make sure that we take care of one another, and that should be the focus.